Welcome back to Carscope, the place where we dive deep into the most exciting machines on four wheels. Today we're looking at something truly special, a car that carries with it decades of motorsport heritage, an instantly recognizable silhouette, and a reputation that few cars in the world can match. This is the 2026 Porsche 911 GT3, and in this review we're going to take you through every detail of what makes this car such a captivating piece of engineering. From the way it looks, to how it feels from behind the wheel, to its performance numbers, pricing, and whether this could be the perfect driver's car for you. This is going to be an in-depth look you won't want to miss. So buckle in, because Porsche has once again raised the bar. The first impression always starts with the exterior, and the 2026 GT3 has been refined in a way that's both evolutionary and bold. At the front, Porsche hasn't strayed too far from its iconic styling language, but the sharper lines and improved aerodynamics are immediately noticeable. The nose is dominated by the large central grille, flanked by aggressive air intakes that not only give the car a purposeful look but also serve functional roles in channeling air for cooling and downforce. The LED matrix headlights continue to be circular in their heritage-inspired design, but they've been slimmed slightly, giving the car a modern, focused gaze. The hood features subtle sculpting, not overly dramatic, but enough to remind you that this is a serious track machine. Every crease and contour is there for a reason, and Porsche has engineered it to be as slippery through the air as it is beautiful to the eye. Moving to the side profile, you see why the 911 shape has been revered for decades. The roofline still carries that smooth arc that Porsche has preserved across generations, but the GT3 makes it more muscular and athletic. The flared wheel arches house massive lightweight alloy wheels, wrapped in Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2R tires that are nearly racing slicks for the street. Behind those wheels sit carbon ceramic brakes with enormous rotors and brightly painted calipers, a detail that screams performance even when the car is standing still. The side skirts are lower and more pronounced compared to the standard 911, helping manage airflow, while the mirrors have been reshaped to reduce drag. The combination of a longer wheelbase and wider stance gives the GT3 a planted look, like it's ready to pounce even when parked. At the back, things get even more dramatic. The centerpiece is, of course, the massive swan neck rear wing, an engineering solution taken straight from the race car playbook. By mounting the wing from above, the airflow underneath remains undisturbed, creating more downforce with less drag. Porsche claims the aerodynamics of this GT3 are more efficient than ever, delivering both stability at high speeds and grip through corners. The taillights stretch across the rear in a seamless LED strip, modern and clean, while the central dual exhaust outlets sit low in the bumper, framed by an aggressive diffuser. The entire rear end is wide, squat, and undeniably aggressive, but still distinctly Porsche. You don't need to see a badge to know what this is. Stepping inside the 2026 GT3, Porsche has once again struck the perfect balance between motorsport minimalism and luxury refinement. The moment you open the lightweight doors, you're greeted with an interior that feels driver-focused to the core. The bucket seats, available in lightweight carbon fiber, hug you tightly while still offering enough adjustability for long-distance comfort. They're wrapped in Alcantara and leather with contrast stitching, and the driving position is low, centered, and perfect. In front of the driver sits the classic Porsche 5-dial instrument cluster, now digitized but still retaining that central analog tachometer that revs all the way to 9,000 RPM. To the right, the infotainment screen is crisp and fast, running the latest version of Porsche communication management with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. But unlike many modern performance cars that clutter the cabin with endless screens and touch-sensitive panels, Porsche has kept physical controls where they matter. You have real buttons for climate, a proper gear selector, and a steering wheel that's free from unnecessary distractions. It's all about the connection between car and driver. The steering wheel itself is a masterpiece, trimmed in Alcantara, with a drive mode selector dial allowing you to switch between normal, sport, and track settings. Behind it are beautifully machined aluminum paddle shifters if you opt for the PDK transmission, though purists will be thrilled to note Porsche continues to offer a 6-speed manual gearbox for the GT3. The rear seats are gone, replaced with lightweight panels. And if you tick the Club Sport package, you can even get a half-roll cage and fire extinguisher installed. The interior feels purposeful, but not stripped bare. You could daily this car if you wanted, though it constantly reminds you it's happiest on the track. Now, let's talk about performance, because this is where the GT3 truly comes alive. At the heart of the 2026 model is a naturally aspirated 4.0-liter flat-six engine, an absolute rarity in today's turbocharged world. It produces 518 horsepower, revs to an astonishing 9,000 revolutions per minute, and delivers one of the most intoxicating soundtracks of any car on sale today. The throttle response is razor sharp, and the way it builds power is linear and urgent, pulling harder the higher you rev. With the PDK dual-clutch gearbox, Porsche claims 0 to 60 in just 3.0 seconds flat, while the manual will do it in about 3.4 seconds. Top speed is around 199 miles per hour, but numbers only tell part of the story. What sets the GT3 apart is how it feels. The steering is hydraulic-assisted, providing levels of feedback that most electric systems simply can't match. You feel every nuance of the road, every change in grip, and it inspires huge confidence whether you're carving up a mountain pass or pushing through a racetrack corner. The suspension is derived from Porsche's racing efforts, with double wishbones up front, and it manages to deliver both incredible precision on track and surprising comfort on the road. Porsche's active suspension management system constantly adapts, but you still have the option to stiffen things up in track mode if you want maximum sharpness. Grip levels are astonishing, with the aero and tires combining to make the car feel glued to the road. And yet, despite all the performance, the GT3 doesn't overwhelm you with electronic nannies. It feels like a car that wants to work with you, not against you. Fuel economy isn't really the point here, but Porsche has tuned the engine to meet ever-tightening emissions regulations without losing character. You might see around 15 miles per gallon in the city and low 20s on the highway if you're careful, but if you're buying a GT3, efficiency is not on your mind. What is on your mind is that glorious engine note, a high-pitched wail that builds as the revs climb, echoing decades of Porsche racing heritage. It's addictive. And it makes every drive feel special. Now, when it comes to pricing, the 2026 Porsche 911 GT3 starts at around $185,000 before options, though most buyers will likely spec theirs closer to $200,000 or more once they add custom paint, carbon options, ceramic brakes, and other goodies. It's not a cheap car by any means, but when you compare it to supercars from Ferrari, Lamborghini, or McLaren, the GT3 often outperforms them on track for a fraction of the price. And unlike many exotic cars, the GT3 has a reputation for reliability and usability that makes it more approachable as a real-world purchase. Yes, it's still an expensive indulgence, but for those who value driving purity above all else, it's one of the best deals in the high-performance world. So, after spending time with the 2026 Porsche 911 GT3, what's the verdict? Simply put, this car continues to embody everything that makes Porsche special. It's a car that doesn't chase horsepower wars or rely on hybrid systems to impress on paper. Instead, it focuses on connection, precision, and emotion. It's a car that rewards skill, that thrills every time you start it up, and that makes even a short drive feel like an event. Few cars manage to combine usability, heritage, and performance in the way the GT3 does, and this latest version is arguably the finest yet. Whether you're a collector, a track day enthusiast, or simply someone who wants to own one of the greatest driver's cars ever made, the 2026 Porsche 911 GT3 is an absolute masterpiece. That's going to wrap up this review here on CarScope. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the GT3, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more detailed car reviews, and let us know in the comments what car you'd like us to feature next. Until next time, keep your eyes on the road, your hands on the wheel, and your passion for cars alive.